This is a combined effort. There is multiple folks across the globe that are getting on right now. So go ahead and shoot out that text to your team and let's get going. Welcome to our Money Monday is what we call it, our Money Making Monday. The market is moving now. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and get your folks on this call. We're going to get this kicked off here shortly. Welcome all. If you're just now getting on, let us know where you're checking in from. If you're just now getting on now, let us know where you're checking in from. What's going on, Miss Andrea out of Atlanta, Georgia? Welcome. What's going on, Rickson out of Charlotte, North Carolina? Welcome. Jay Morales out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Welcome. What's going on, Mr. Andre English, Denton, Texas? You're in my neck of the woods. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Folks, we're going to get started here in a couple minutes. Go ahead and get your team on ASAP. We will be recording this call, but go ahead and get your team on. There's no better way than to hear it live. So go ahead and get your team on. Shoot them out the link, folks. This is an open call for everybody. Maybe you had some other folks sitting on the fence. They don't have to be on your team yet. If you want to get them on, just hear the success stories. I promise you this. You do not want to miss this call, folks. So definitely get your folks on. What's going on, Mr. Edwin Pender, one of the platinum leaders out there in the Bahamas? Welcome to the webinar. All right, folks, I'm shooting out messages right now. Go ahead and get your team on. We're going to get started here in a couple minutes. Welcome to the webinar. I see we got folks getting on now. And if you're just now getting on the call, welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and let us know where you're checking in from. Go ahead and click on the chat there. Represent your city, represent your country, represent your continent. Let us know where you're checking in from around the globe, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We do this every single Monday night, rain, sleet, or snow, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So welcome to the webinar. We're going to get this thing started. This is our Money Making Monday. What's going on, Mr. Paul Thomas out of Hawaii? Nice. What's going on, Kikita out of Jersey? Welcome to the webinar. BB out of Cayman Islands. Welcome. We got our island folks on. What's going on, Ms. Jeffrey out of San Antonio, Texas? Welcome to the webinar. Folks, we're going to get started here in a couple minutes. Make sure you get this out to your team. Let them know we are starting now. What's going on, Mr. Lamar out of Leonard, New York? Welcome to the webinar. Happy to have you on. All right, folks, we got a couple more minutes. We're going to start about 2 minutes after half the hour. So welcome to the webinar. We will get this started in about 2 minutes. Go ahead and get that link out to your team. Let them know we are going to get started here shortly. You do not want to miss this call. We've got a lot of success coming on. And here's what I know, folks. One thing I knew about my success inside this industry right here, I could not wait for team calls. I could not wait for company calls. I just knew every time I treated company calls and team calls like they were events, because they really are. And what you do is you build and you build your team from event to event. So we treated these like events. They're a big deal because you're going to hear some stories on here. I promise you that is going to fire you up big time, because you're going to hear someone who looks like you, sounds like you've been through what you've been through, or even been through more than what you've been through, and they still excel inside this industry, inside this company, folks. So I'm excited to introduce the individuals that we're going to have on tonight, and I promise you, you do not want to miss their stories and their nuggets of what they're going to give you how they got there, folks. We're bringing on 2 7-figure earners that are killing the game right now, and they're so humble. So I'm excited about that. Go ahead and get your team on. I see we do have more folks getting on. Make sure you introduce yourself. Let us know where you're checking in from. Welcome to the webinar. All right. All right, folks, we have come up on the hour. I'm going to go ahead and mute the lines here. Welcome to the webinar. Once again, folks, we are absolutely excited to be doing this every single Monday. I see we got Kenya in the building. It's early morning. What's going on? What's going on, Knox out of UK? What's going on, Bernard? Philadelphia in the building. So just wanted to give them a shout out there. But, folks, we do this every single Monday night. There is no reason why you should not hop on. This is to give you an energy transfer to get you through the rest of this week so that you can have some momentum in your business. So for those that don't know me, my name is Randy Webb. I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for the past 6 years, basically going on in January, and I cannot believe how great it's absolutely been, folks. And I'll tell you, I wasn't, in this industry, I was clueless. I didn't know anything when I first started, but here's what I did understand coming through this industry. I read some books about how to become successful in network marketing, and that this was an industry where first-time seven-figure earners, first-time six-figure earners were created outside of other industries, folks. So I'll tell you, you're going to hear some stories right now from people who were successful in something that they were doing and then switched over, and now they're making a large residual income. And so what we're going to do today, folks, I'm going to get some nuts and bolts out of the way. As you know, in iMarkets Live, folks, this company's been around for 5.5 years. I'm telling you right now, we are in one of the best companies in the industry right now. This company is the talk of the industry right now. So if you don't know that you're in the right place, folks, I'm just going to let you know you are in the right place at the right time. And a majority of people don't realize where they're at. So just to kind of get this off, here's what I know. I talk about events. We build our company, we build our team from event to event. So if you want to build an organization, folks, I'll tell you where it starts. It starts right here. So we have several events that are coming up, folks. One, this is for the ladies. Women Who Win Worldwide is happening in Orlando, Florida. As you can see, the tickets, I believe, are $99. And then they're going to go up to about $127. So definitely get your tickets to go to that event. My wife, Wanda Webb, she will be there. It's January 11th through the 12th. And then followed after that, the next weekend, which me and my wife, we will definitely be attending that event as well, too, in Atlanta, Georgia. Just go ahead and make it a vacation if you're not from those areas, folks. So, we're going out to Orlando. We're going to vacation. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to get educated and some personal development. Then we're going to shift over. And we're going to Atlanta, January 18th and 19th, the Go Beyond event with top earners, David Imanitie, Yvonne Tapia, Alex Morton. These are some top-notch leaders in the industry, folks, not just in iMarkets Live. They are killing the game. I heard Alex Morton talk the other night where he's made, I believe he said $15 million in the industry right now. I believe he's still in his 20s. So I just want you to understand, when you place yourself around success like that, that's when your business, that's when you start excelling, because you understand that it's possible. And the great thing about these calls, about these trainings, is it's a trigger in your head to show you that it's absolutely possible. A majority of people, they don't do well in network marketing because they don't believe that they can. They don't believe that they can make 6 or 7 figures in their lifetime doing this. And I'm going to tell you right now, you absolutely can. So don't miss this event, January 18th and 19th. You can go to imlgobeyond.com, buy your tickets. These tickets are just $97, but don't hold short. This is the actual event that we want you to be at. It is the company's national event in Las Vegas. Do not miss this event right here, February 28th to March 2nd. This is where you're going to hear from everybody in the company, folks. Hear all about the success stories. And on Friday night, we're going to be trading, doing IML TV with all of our educators within inside the organization. So make sure you get on, buy your tickets. I just seen that tickets are back up. So go to your back office right now. You can log in, go to the left side, and you can buy your Unleashed tickets. I believe it starts from $60 all the way up to $597, depending on what you're going to do, whether you get VIP tickets or general admission. But what I will tell you, when I started in this industry, folks, I know that events are the most important thing in your business. Maybe your business is stagnant right now. You've been trying to recruit someone. You've been trying to get customers in, and you don't know what you're doing. You don't have the passion. I'll tell you, it can start right here at these events. So starting in January, you can start your 2019 off right all the way up until March, folks, and get this thing done. So excited about that. So here's what we're going to do. Man, I've been fortunate enough that when we came over to this company, and most of you know my story, folks, me and my wife, this is our second deal. We came into iMarkets Live at the beginning of this year, 2018. We had built a large organization in our last company, and we just had to make a shift. We made a change, and we were just fortunate enough. I just feel that God answered a prayer. Sometimes a door will be forcibly closed. I'll tell you this, I'm fortunate that sometimes a door will be forcibly closed only for you to notice that there is an open door that's just right for you. So I'll tell you, when we came up to this company, we have been fighting for years. In 5.5 years, we had put it in 30-some thousand customers. We were fighting to make $50,000 a month. And then, of course, when we made our transition, we were kind of heartbroken. But then when we came over, we realized, like, oh my God, you're not trying to bless us with $50,000 a month. You're trying to bless us 10 times what we were trying to chase. And in this company, if you understand the comp plan, folks, chairman 500,000 a month. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of people in this company, folks, that are making a lot of money, and you wouldn't know it because they're so humble. I've never seen a company where there's so many top leaders that are making, let me just tell you, they're making more money than a majority of the network marketers that are out there, period. And you wouldn't know it because they're so humble. You don't see it like you see in other companies. So when I came over to iMarkets Live, folks, I just tell you, I'm just fortunate enough that we've been able to create some relationships. And I'll tell you, I caught hold of several mentors in this company now, but hold of this one mentor that I'll tell you, man, him and his wife are just killing the game right now. And they will always, they're very humble. They always put their leaders in the front, and they are working hard, and they make a lot of money. I'm going to bring someone on who's definitely made 7 figures, but he's been a top earner in 3 companies, 3 network marketing companies. Sometimes you hear where people, they're like, man, I don't know, I burned my network. I don't know if I can do this or not. And so I know that once this man talks, once this leader talks, he's going to show you what he did, what was possible. So top earner in 3 companies, folks, which I'm very fortunate enough to be under his lineage, under his mentorship, 20-year veteran in the MLM space. This is a career, folks, and we're going to talk about personal development. We're going to talk about books like Go Pro. But when you understand that this is a career, 20 years, folks, is an absolute game changer. So him and his wife, Tamara, have changed a lot of lives in a lot of companies, and now Art Markets Live, they're killing the game in real time. He's a business owner outside of Art Markets Live where they own real estate, investing in different properties, and he is now a Chairman 50 knocking on the door of Chairman 100, folks. They are killing it in income, all spaces. And let me not even talk about the trading. The trading, I haven't said how much he makes weekly with trading. He might mention that, folks, but killing the game in the trading space as well, too. So I'm fortunate enough. I reached out to him today. He said he would do this call. So Mr. Lawrence Young, Chairman 50, 7-figure earner, are you on? I see you right here.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Mr. Webb?
What's going on? So, I wanted to get you on here to tell your story. Want to tell your story first of all. But one of the big things is what I talked about today. I was having hard times in the industry. What the flip looks like, because sometimes it can be hard of understanding the space of network marketing where you put in so much work, so much effort, and then sometimes it feels like you're not getting the pay at that time, or it's not instant gratification. So you spent 20 years in the industry. I just want you to just give us the good, the bad, the ugly, any nuggets you want to drop.
Well, hey, man, I definitely appreciate you, man, for all the kind words you said about Tamara and I. And, Tamara, she's been so supportive, man, as a wife and a business person running shoulder to shoulder. I mean, you and Wanda remind me so much of Tamara and I, man, because we always try to put our team, first. We're not ego-driven leaders. Yeah. Your wife compliments you like to the 10th level, right?
Yes.
And then, she could pick up your slack, or you could pick up hers when you're busy. I mean, to be able to be in a position where your business doesn't miss a beat because you're in Kenya or you're in Africa for 30 days, building, and your wife can hold down the fort, take care of the family, and still do 3-way calls, build. That's a great thing, man. And I tell people all the time, and, having couples, in this business is such a special thing, because too many times people sleep with the enemy. You bring people into the business and their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other is just dragging them down, trying to nag them out. And, it's like an anchor, and it's like, you can never get to the other side, man, when your goals on the line with each other, and sometimes it takes this type of space to get you to change that hard drive. And sometimes, quite frankly, you just become a different person. You become a better person. And sometimes spouses or boyfriends, girlfriends, they can't handle it because they're not tapped into it. There's a whole new source. So, I like seeing people actually do it well, with grace and dignity, the way your wife and you do it, man. So I just want to give you mad kudos for that. I know you ran past everybody like they're walking backwards in iMarkets Live. I'm like, who is this Randy Webb guy? This guy is like, just came out of nowhere. But, straight stealth bomber mode. I love it. I love it. I love it. But Tamara and I, we're just thankful and grateful for the time and space that we're in right now. We've been through this, like you said, we hit the top of 3 companies, but it hasn't always been the glorious side of networking. We've been through many trials, many tribulations, just like you, being involved with a company, you giving it your blood, sweat, and tears, and giving it your all, only to find out that at the end of the road, man, the owners are more concerned about themselves and you, and they can change the way you make money, and that's all 5, 6, 7 years of your life, man. It just went down to 2, and that's not a good feeling. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow, and sometimes it makes you question, like, man, am I in the right industry? Am I in the right space? I thought I was about to get to that tipping point where I was going to go vertical, and every time it's like the devil get busy and pull you down. I know all those type of feelings and emotions, and I just kind of share my story. When I first got involved with the industry of networking, a friend of mine came up on my porch. It's so funny too, because my wife and I, we had pretty much just got married, right? And this is so funny, man. My buddy, my wife was already making great money doing what she did with our own PR business, and I was pretty successful doing what I did, and most of my friends and family thought I had it going on. Here comes one of my good friends named Shane. He comes up on the porch, and I told him, I said, well, I watched this video with this guy, and it kind of makes a lot of sense, about the residual. And I said, Shane is coming over to share this information, some information with me. As soon as he walked on the porch, Tamara's like, he ain't signing up for nothing. He ain't doing no type of business. We ain't doing nothing. You ain't even got to come up here and say it. I'm like, golly, at least let me just hear what you have to say. And, but then at that point, you have to sometimes, as the lead person in your household, or if you're sick and tired of the situation enough to know that if I continue to work, then I'm just going to continue building somebody else's dream instead of mine. So it's got to be another way. And I always had an open mind. Your mind is like a parachute. If it doesn't open, it doesn't work. And then, for spouses out there, when your spouse tells you, we're not doing this, then ask yourself this. If you say no to this, then that means you got to continue working. You have no exit strategy. I said, well, it's easy for someone to tell you not to do something, but if you don't have a plan B, that means I got to continue doing what I'm doing, living in the land of frustration. That just wasn't me. So I signed up anyway, being defiant, and, joined and went to a meeting. And, I never forget, the trials and tribulations of how things happen in your life and your business. I never forget, man. I signed up. I did my very first meeting. And here I am thinking, like, I had some people by my house, and gal came and did the presentation. And bro, when I tell you, person was getting ready to get my first sign up, Randy. And right when the person was getting their first sign up, guess what? They get a phone call, and they're like, hey man, we can't take the money right now. I said, why, what's up? He said, man, the company just got shut down. I'm like, are you serious? This is my first introduction. Here I am signed up my first person. I'm like, come on, man. I'm already nervous as heck. And then the gentleman I was following, we decided to go to another company. And my grandmother, who basically raised me, she was going through some health challenges, actually passed away. And the day she passed away, I was supposed to go to, the next day I was supposed to go to Atlanta. I was going to drive to Atlanta to see another business opportunity that my leader that I was following was looking at. So my grandmother, she knew that I always wanted something more out of life. And I could have sat there and cried and whined and complained about her being gone. And, my family thought I was being too insensitive, but I said, listen, I got to hit the road. I owe it to her, and I owe it to myself to go out there and look at this information. So I drove out to Atlanta, saw some people that just really opened up my mindset to what network marketing was. And I said, I want to become a student. And I'm always still today, 20 years later, still a student. I learned so much from you, Randy, by looking at your presentation. Sometimes I'm on some of your presentations and you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I'm always peeking in, learning, because I'm always trying to mold myself into be a better leader. And I said at that point, I started to get books. I started to get Think and Grow Rich. I started to get, Robert Kiyosaki's books and, all these different books that kind of helped me change the hard drive, turned off my radio and started to just listen to successful people. That's where my journey started. And then we had some companies that didn't do well for us. And then we hit one company that was a health and wellness company, did really good. We hit the top, traveled all over the world, and got a chance to see parts of the world I never thought I'd see. And, some of my friends and family would say, wow, I see you in Tahiti right now. I see you in Switzerland right now. I see you in all these different places I'd have just dreamt of, right? But, what happened for me, the big wake-up call for me was with network marketing. I never forget, I won an incentive trip. We were in the French Riviera. We were in Monaco. And I was sitting there And I was thinking to myself, like, here I am, this little kid from the hood, didn't come from a family that had it going on financially. My mom worked 2 jobs all her freaking life, as an RN nurse. And we always still, even though she worked 2 jobs, we still never had nothing. And I just kind of just looked at that like, I have to do something different. And so I said, here I am in Monaco, the French Riviera, in hotels where kings and queens and stuff like that stay in, right? And that's when I made a decision. I told my wife, I said, I'm going back home. I'm quitting my job. And I went back into, I actually have it on YouTube. I actually send you the link, Randy, when we're done. But I actually went on YouTube and I made a 6-figure income. I lived great. So I went into my job and I says, hey, listen, man, I just want to let you know that thing you guys used to laugh and talk to me about, it's got me up out of here. My eyes are hurting. I just don't see myself coming back. Right. And I was able to tell them like, hey, this is it for me. I'm about to leave. And I recorded it. And it's funny too, because during the time of me, getting off work, doing meetings or doing things while I still worked a job, I was still focused on my dream. I was still focused on my business. That's why I tell you guys and gals who are on this call today, don't be one of those people that put your business secondary. If you work a job, just be thankful for having something that can make ends see each other. But don't let that be an end-all, be-all, because when the rubber meets the road, you don't want to be one of those people who say, I wish I had the time. I wish I could go back in time and try this. I'd rather say I'm glad I did instead of I wish I had, right? So all the times I was willing to be laughed at by some of the employees, all the times they said, that's not going to work, all that stuff. It was just a look. When I went and quit, it was like, it's not funny when the rabbit got the gun. It was like the look on their faces was like, I can't believe that stuff worked. But you have to be willing to go through the hot grease. You got to be willing to go through the fire. You got to be willing to be laughed at. You got to be willing to be embarrassed because people just don't see what you see. So I knew it crystal clear. So I ended up quitting and started to build my business, start my real estate company and start doing good, buying and flipping historical homes, doing really good. In the market crash, which hits a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people on this call, if you've been in business, 20 years, everyone, around that 2006, 2007 area, everyone got smoked with the real estate market. And I just found myself still looking for something that was residual. And the company I was in started to dissipate because people started to copy the products. And my residual started to just drop and drop and drop. And then my belief started to drop. So my wife and I made a pact then, no more network marketing. We were done. We've given, 10 years of our lives to it and made great money. But I was sick and tired of just not winning how I really won. I didn't get in network marketing to make $10,000 a month. I got in this thing to make stratospherical type money. You see what I'm saying? And, my wife and I, my wife is already super successful doing what she's doing. So we said, well, listen, we could just continue to do what we do. But so I never forget, we made a pinky promise, Randy, no more networking, right? So this is a funny story. So after a while, because, this, I want you guys to realize this. Don't be a prideful, egotistical person, whereas especially men on the call. If you have to go back to work to do what you have to do to make your family survive, you do what you have to do. So I never forget, I'm sitting at the side of my bed one day. I said, you know what? I'm sitting there going into my savings. I'm starting to go backwards with my money. I said, let me stop the bleeding. So I went back to work. They've been back after me for many years. They offered me big money to come back, went back to work. And I never forget, I was sitting on the side of the bed in tears, man. I'm like, dude, I got to go back to work. I feel like such a freaking failure right now. And my wife, having a supportive wife, ladies and gentlemen, when you have somebody that supports you, my wife is like, look, you're my hero. I'm so glad I married you because you're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to go out there and put it all out on the line. You're not afraid to do things that's a little bit different, right? But I'm sitting on the side of the bed crying, like, do I really want to go back into this job? And I remember I kind of lost faith in the networking side, and the real estate market just hit me in the stomach. So went back to work. And then eventually, I'll tell you what happened. A year had passed. 2 years had passed, and me going back to work. But I'm still thinking like, okay, I'm in my late 40s now. Like I'm like in my late 40s, and I know it's halftime coming up. It's the 2-minute warning is right now, right? What am I going to do? I don't want to downsize my big house I live in, or I don't want to downsize my lifestyle. What am I going to do when I get 60, 55? Do I want to take a lifestyle change, or do I want to still ball out of control, right? For me, I choose the latter, right? So I said, I got to do something different. Otherwise, if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. If I don't sell anything, I don't get paid, right? And I just didn't like that. So I never forget, I got a call from a friend of mine. I'd already known about iMarkets Live because Chris Terry called me before the company was a thought in his mind from Italy. He called me, said, I want you to be the VP of sales, right? But I didn't know anything about trading, so it just wasn't a good fit for me, right? I'm not just going to tell you to come to a company just so I can make money. That's not my personality, right? So I'm sitting on the side. I got a call from a good friend of mine named Josh, who actually was up under me in another company. I used to mentor him. But that's why I tell a person, you never, ever forget, never be afraid to call people, because you never know based on relationships who's open-minded. So luckily enough, I said, well, hey, man, I'll take a look at what you're doing. Shoot me a quick video. Looked at the quick video. I said, yeah, I'm very familiar with iMarkets Live. It makes a lot of sense to me. I said, I'm going to go on and sign up. At the time, it was $500. I went on and signed up. And just at that time, we had Chris Terry, trading and training, and then we had the harmonic scanner. That was it. We had nothing else. So Chris was just breaking his neck, training us all day. I said, man, this ain't going to last. He's going to run himself. You can't run a company, be the trader, all that wrapped into one. He's going to burn himself out. And it was true. But anyway, so what happened for me, I just said, I'm going to really learn this. If some of you guys and gals on the call, I was nervous. I said, man, can I do this? I'm looking at some of these charts like, dude, this is like walking into the pyramids in Egypt. I can't read none of this stuff, right? I'm like, this is like hieroglyphics or EKG machine. What the heck is this? But whatever you focus on grows. I always remember teaching people in networking, whatever you focus on tends to expand. So I can't not be listen to my own words. So I decided to lock in. I'm getting on videos with Chris. My wife is like, what are you doing? Because I didn't tell her. Remember, we made the pinky promise, right? So here I am. I got the earphones in. I'm listening to these trainings late at night. I got my cell phone. And then one day I come home and she like, dude, you be on your phone all the time. Who are you talking to? And I'm like, well, I just been listening to some information. She said, did you sign up in another network marketing company? I said, no, we made a pinky promise. I would never do that. So after I signed up, I had to tell her. So after I did sign up, I had to tell her, like, look, I got to do this, right? But then I showed her my phone. And remember, past results don't guarantee any future profits. But I actually I walked in, I showed her I turned $1 into over $600 in a matter of about 15 minutes. And she was like, I said, look, this is no networking. I just got in this just to learn. I'm not telling anybody. We're not doing meetings. We're not doing any of that stuff we used to do. And it was funny too, Randy, because I showed her. She said, let me see. So I grabbed her phone and I showed her a trade. She said, hold on. You just turned $1 into $600 that quick? She said, oh, that's sexy. She said, that's sexy right there. I said, yep, that's what I've been doing. And she was just, okay, you going and you got my blessings now. He said, you got my blessings now. And then she started to, my wife is a freaking genius, man. When I tell you, she's 100 times smarter than I am. She is the sharpest woman I ever met in my freaking life. She picks up stuff so fast. She started to jump in, get on some of these trainers. And I'm coming home from work. She's sending me screenshots of $1,000, $2,000 days, man. I'm like, my goodness, right? So I felt like we found something good. So I said, you know what? This was the tipping point for me. I started a live broker account. And what happened was I started with $500. My first day I made $300. I was jacked out of my mind, right? First week was $2,300. I think on the Wolf of Wall Street, right? Then the Super Bowl Sunday came when Carolina was in the Super Bowl. I'll never forget going to a big Super Bowl party with my boys. There's 100 people there. Everybody's cheering the game. I'm in the corner with my cell phone trading gold. I made $6,300 at a Super Bowl party, bro, trading gold. And that for me, you could stick a fork in me. I was done like a Christmas turkey, bro. I was driving home and I said to myself, how many people would I have needed to have in my team to make $13,000 in my first month? How many people would I need residually to do that? Or how many people I had to have just in this one day make $6,000? How many people would you need to have in your team to make that type of money? That's when the light bulb went out for me. So I was out of networking for 4 years. I didn't have a team. I didn't have nobody. So I didn't come to IML with a team. Not one person, right? So I was on the way home. Then I thought of this guy named Gene, who's a Haitian guy, lives in Philly. Super nice guy, him and his wife, Carol. I called them. I said, and I loved them because they were always so nice. They plugged into everything, but they never could really bring the thunder. They could never really get that tipping point. It's almost like those people who love the culture but can't even sign up their own mom. You know what I'm talking about, Randy? You understand that? So I called him. I said, hey, Gene, I found a way for you to make some money, man. It doesn't require any selling, doesn't require any recruiting. You know, I was able to make over $13,000 my first month. You may or may not be interested, but you know, I like your permission, just kind of shoot you a quick little video. You take a look at it, just let me know either way. So it was real non-pretentious. It wasn't, you know, me jamming it down the throat. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna share the information with you. And that's why I want you guys to understand, when you build a business, all we do are we're just great information sharers. Like literally, if he'd have took the bait and bid on it, I'd have said great. If he'd have took the bait and threw it back into the water, guess what? I'd still have been good with it because my job was done. So he looked at it, he says, Lawrence, man, I've been wanting to learn how to trade. I think about it all the time, but I didn't have 10,000 to learn it. He said, this here is only 500. At the time, it was 500. He says, hey, man, let's do it. I said, wow, is that easy? So I just shot it to some information to a few other people. And like literally the first 10 people was like, I'm in. I was 10 for 10. And I didn't leave my house to do a presentation. All I did was shot a quick video to somebody. And so we continued to grow and started to gain traction. Took some of the leaders out to Vegas. And this is why I want you guys to understand the turbulence, right? Took some of my leaders out to Vegas. At the time, Randy, it was only a $5 difference to be an IBO. So, you know, they lowered the cost down to $200 for $195 rather. And that's when I said, well, I could start telling people. I didn't want to bring people in at a $500 opportunity. So when they lowered it down to $200, it was $195 to be a customer, and it was only $199 to be an IBO. So what happens if I shoot you my website, you see $195 or $199, guess what you're gonna do? I just might as well sign up as IBO. So I took some leaders out to Vegas, me, Garrett Roberts. First time I got a chance to meet Garrett, some other leaders I brought out. And I remember sitting with Chris. I said, Chris, I like everything that's happening with IMS, but I got one concern, bro. My main concern is you're too IBO heavy. I said, because everybody I talked to joins the IBO. And I know what just happened with all these other companies, with Vima and all these other companies where it's all, you know, IBO versus customer ratio. I said, trust me, you're going to have an issue. Well, Lawrence, no, everything's fine. We got under control. I said, Chris, trust me, I know this game inside and out. I done forgot more than you know about networking, right? You're going to have an issue. So I just hit the ground running, kept going. And never forget, a month and a half later, at that time, I think you needed either 600 or 700 customers to be chairman. It was one of the two. But I remember calling the gentleman who brought me into the business. He's in Vegas, right? I said, hey, man, guess what? I just hit chairman. I just put my last person in. And he wasn't that happy. I'm like, he says, hey, man, I got something to tell you. I'm like, good golly, don't you say it. I'm like, you better not see no bad news right now. He said, man, we might get shut down, bro. I said, what are you talking about? Now, here I am. We done made the pinky promise, right? Companies let us down. We done made the pinky promise. I'm like, here we go a freaking again. You know, I'm like, and that's where that turbulence coming into play. That's where you start to have self-doubt. I'm like, look, let me just throw the towel in. And here I am talking. I said, well, it's got to be something we could do. They say, no. Let me tell you something, bro. The attorneys are here. Like, literally, if we don't come up with something by midnight, IML is getting shut down. Like, it was like 4th and goal on the 1-yard line, busted play, no timeouts. I mean, it was like that, right? I'm like, good golly, right? And so at that time, it was some of the other leaders who were out there. So we were just trying to come up with different solutions. And we all said, well, hey, listen, why don't we just reset the whole company? Make everyone a customer, make everyone in the system revert back to a customer, and then up the ante, make it where it's maybe $15 or $20 for them to be an IBO, right? That way you can kind of weed out the people who really want to build a business versus people just signed up the wrong way. So they did that. But here's the kicker. When they did it, they approved it, and we like, okay, we can move forward. But guess what? We can't pay you guys for 3 weeks. The whole compensation plan, we can't pay you guys. So now get this. We're already going through some trials and tribulations with the back office was kind of whack. I mean, it was super whack. And then, you know, it was some issue. When you have a brand new company, you're going to have issues, right? And here we are. I got to go back and tell my leaders, okay, well, guess what? Y'all not getting paid for 3 weeks. So some people have sight, but have no vision. Those guys are like, well, I want my money. I want my money. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Would you rather them pay you the little few dollars or little few chips you got coming this week and shut down? Or would you rather them pay you nothing for 3 weeks, reset everything, get it right, and then we can still max out this freaking comp plan? Right? Some people didn't see it. Oh, man, they going to fail. They this, they that. I said, look, let me tell you something. If Chris is already on the other side of money and he's fighting like a fish on a hook to keep IML going, then I want to rock with him because he could easily fold shop and say, look, I'm going to live my 8-figure life. I see you when I see you. So when you have somebody that's already successful who's fighting like that, I said, well, hey, I'm with him, you know. So if you guys become casualties, and remember, in every war there's casualties, right? You know this of all people, Randy. We had service in the military. So, you know, we got going, and those people are like, look, man, I can't stay. So I ended up losing 2 legs of business. 2 legs of business just gone. Like literally, they had a conference call, hey, everybody get off auto ship. Like it was just that bad. So here I am standing with having, you know, luckily, you know, Dr. Jewel, Dr. China, Dr. Kathy Kirkland, all Rashad, all those people stuck with us. Like they like, look, we believe in this, you know, we believe in this, and we're going to stick with you, right? And luckily, I had to fake it till I make it. Like literally, I'm running with 2 legs that are pretty much gone, and I got to fake it till I make it. Some other leaders, they didn't know what's going on in my other business, or my other legs, but I still had to, you know, still be a good original copy, right? Didn't want to let them see me sweat because you know you always want to be a visionary, right? So just kept going. Jewel and them, they rocking and rolling. I'm like, man, they inspired me. They kept me in the game, right? And then one day I just made up to my mind. I said, you know what? I got to go vertical. I mean, I've done all this. I've sacrificed parties. I've sacrificed things with my family. I've sacrificed a whole bunch in my career network marketing to sit back and not see this thing through and start to live my financial dreams. It's like I just failed the whole time. The last 15 years, I just failed at it, right? And that was a bad feeling for me. So I said, you know, I'm going to get it. Like I'm going all in. I'm like putting my networking shoes on. I'm going back to work. And then when people saw, like, we didn't have the big social media presence now, but when people saw like, okay, LY back in networking, it's got to be something to it. But then I started to put it out there that I'm going hard. And those people started to call me because they saw, you know, trading. They saw, you know, posting screenshots. At that time, we could post screenshots. It was like taking candy from a baby, signing to somebody up then. But, you know, showing people, hey, this is what I made today. You know, all this recruiting, you don't have to do that. You come over here with a skill set. We started to rock and roll. And then what happened from there is we started to go vertical. Then we had some more back office issues. Like literally, I'm like, come on, again? You know, not again, right? And, you know, some people end up leaving. And I said, look, I'm still staying the course, man. I just believe in the vision. I'm still staying the course. I'm going to do what I got to do. And keep in mind, I'm still working 65 hours a week. I'm still working. And so I started to talk to more people. Then I started to really just say, you know what? I'm just going to believe. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it in my eyes. I'm going to believe it in my heart. I'm going to speak it off my tongue. I'm going to go Chairman 50, Chairman 100 with iMarkets Live. I believed it every day. I wrote it down with dates attached to it. Started to make some calls. Hey, listen, we made some changes. You guys need to take a look at some of the leadership. Then when Alex Morton, all those guys came over, it was like validation. You know, you got guys who were that big, David and ETA, on top of all those major leaders choosing IML. That was a big belief system for me. Like they don't realize how they saved my business because they started to make me elevate my belief, right? So we just continue to rock and roll. Had some issues, some hiccups, which you're gonna have in any company. But I always believed, and you know, started to make some calls, and some of the leaders ended up coming back. You know, Mr. Andre Campbell, got in touch with Mr. Andre Campbell. He came, he's owns his own network marketing company, already a solid trader, you know, full-time trader. He came over here and started running past people like they were walking backwards. I think he was like the number 80 chairman that hit in iMarkets Live. And then we just brought in people from London. Things just started to come, you know, everything started to rock and roll and do great, right? But I saw it, but I knew it was going to be turbulence. Just like if you go up to take a flight, I don't care where you're going to run into some turbulence. It's not going to be an easy, smooth flight, but you can always rechart your course. You can always rechart, you know, the way you're going to get there. It's going to be turbulence, but you can still get to the destination, right? And, you know, we had a lot of great things that happened. The group started rocking and rolling, breaking chairmans, and the belief started to get up there. And then we started to give events with 100, where it was 3, 4, 5, 6,000 people. I said, wow, this is all coming together now. So when people see, you know, for me, I wrote down I wrote down, I'm going to show you guys this, and I'll pass the call back over to you. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you got to have vision, and you got to mean it when you say it. I wrote this when I was at work one day, Randy. You're going to laugh at this. I'm at work one day, and I still keep this with me, even though I quit. This is my business card when I work, okay? I wrote this, this is signed March 29, 2017. March 29, 2000. You see how beat up this business card is? I carry it with me. I didn't even know how I was going to do this. I wrote, I am a chairman 50 by December 31st, 2017. When I wrote this, I didn't know how it was going to happen. Like literally, I'm like, I had to fake out my mind. I had to fake out my mind on like, hey, you know right now your business ain't really going like that, but but I had to fake myself out. Wrote it down with a date attached to it. Everywhere I went, I carried it in my wallet. When I pump gas, I'm looking at it in my wallet, right? Everywhere I saw this. So I believed it. I wrote it down. I saw it. I believed in my heart. Spoke it off my tongue every day. I didn't hit Chairman 50 end of last year. Hit Chairman 50 in February 2018. So I was 2 months off. But I tell people this. When I wrote this, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I mean, I knew the work that it took, but I knew that as long as I stayed the course, the strong wind is going to come. I know it's going to be, choppy waters. I know it's going to be calm waters. I know it's going to be storms. I know it's going to be high tides. But trust me, the strong wind is going to come and push you to where you want to go. But you have to do this. You have to stay the course. You have to stay the course in the midst of all chaotic situations, people dying, relationship problems, tax problems, car problems, job problems, relationship problems, dog problems, kid problems. All that stuff is going to happen to people anyway. But if I give you guys any advice, when you're going through hell, just don't make no pit stops because you're going to go through it. When you're going through hell, just don't make any pit stops because you're going to go through it. So what I did is I just focused on helping my team. I wasn't focused on this. I was focused on who could I help hit chairman? Who could I help hit platinum 5,000? Who could I help hit platinum 1,000, right? But life gives you a lot of different body blows, uppercuts. You got to keep on answering the bell. You got to withstand the pain. And trust me, when I tell you, when you get to the destination, you can look back and say, man, it was all worth it. Just like right now, I wouldn't be the leader I am right now if I didn't go through the pain. People see Chairman 50 right now like it happened in 2 years. No, it happened in 20 years. And it happened in 2 years. But I just stayed with it. Are you willing to keep on fighting? And are you willing to keep on digging, even when it looks bleak, even if you don't believe, or you continue to dig and dig and dig? And the problem is too many times you have all the tools to get to that vein of gold, but you quit 1 foot away, right? 1 foot away when you're about to go smack the largest vein of gold in history, and then you just stop. Right when you're about to hit that lick, you stop. And if you keep on pressing forward, it's always better to walk slow than to stand still, ladies and gentlemen. Some people just quit. Walk slow instead of standing still. Eventually, you're going to get your pace, and you're going to find that sweet spot is going to help you get to the top. And, right now, IML is running like a sewing machine. We're bringing in leaders like the Webbs who are just, running, just super strong. I see Miss Pamela Brown on here. I never forget when I met her for the very first time. I was like, man, this young lady is serious, boy. So I was so just impressed with the leadership because, as a leader, I always study companies. And I used to watch you guys from afar like, man, WV's got some mad culture. I mean, that was serious, right? I said, man, I love what they do. I said, I'm just not into the travel thing, but I love what they do. And when you guys came over, you guys were a quiet storm. And most importantly, you didn't come with any egos. You were just willing to learn and listen. And all your team members coming up to me, man. I'm like, hey, how can I help? And, didn't come over here like, hey, I was this in another company. That's what, ego kills a lot. And if I give you guys any advice, man, all we are, Randy, we're just average people. We just keep on shooting our shot. We're not superstars. In our mind, we know we're winners, but we're no better than anybody else on this call. Chairman 50, Chairman 100, those are just ranked titles. We're the same people. We put our pants on the same way. We go through the same problems. But guess what? You got to keep on just pressing forward, and we just keep shooting our shot. We don't mind missing. We don't mind missing the shot. We're going to keep shooting. We're going to keep shooting the blood out the rock, right? Until we make it, right? So, right. I want to do real quick. Hey, I just want to wish you guys a fantastic, holiday season. Going to 2019, I want to make this a super, super epic year for a lot of you guys. If you're going through some support and resistance in your business right now, just do a mental checkup. Just do a mental inventory of, just really look at yourself in the mirror and say, have you really gone all in? Are you treating the holiday season like you just tap dancing around, or are you going to get it? Are you, are you running your business on a quarter tank, right? I mean, you got to go all in, ladies and gentlemen, because trust me, every week or every day you stop doing your business, you put yourself back weeks. So every day you're not taking action, peaking interest, doing presentations, everything else is just clutter. If you're not peaking and presenting, you're not doing the business. Peaking and presenting, that's it. What's the secret sauce? Peak, present, repeat steps 1 and 2. Peak, present, repeat steps 1 and 2. That's it. So, I'm glad that, Randy has been plugging in with a lot of our calls, and he and I say, man, we like Shaq and Kobe, man. You just throwing up the alley-oop. I'm going up. I'm reverse dunking that rascal, right? I love it. And that's the kind of chemistry that he and I have, and I love it, man. He and his wife have great spirits, and I just love what they're doing. I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader when they crack Chairman 25 and Chairman 50. I'm going to be up there cheering them and taking pictures and, just rallying around, just loving on them and just telling them that, hey, listen, I respect your hard work, your dedication, and it was all worth it in the long run. So I turn the call back over to you, my friend. And, hey, listen, I know people call me coach, so I had to put on the Dallas Cowboys. I know we didn't score a point yesterday, but I'm still going to stay the course. I'm still going to stay the course of my team. For 40 years, I've been a fan, and that just says I don't quit. I don't quit on them.
Let's go.
That's why I put on my star, right? That's why I put on my star.
You see the flag still hanging. It's all right. Man, Lawrence, I appreciate you big time. I'll tell you, you have no idea what you just did for me, and I'm sure so many other folks on here and people that are going to hear this recording. Man, I wrote down some notes like crazy because, it's crazy. Hearing your story, we just went through it. I always say that when you get on these events, you hear people's story. You think that you had it bad, you was going through some stuff. But, when I hear your story, I'm like, you got to think, like, if that happened to me, would I have stayed the course 20 years in and the flip really just happened? Like, you spent 20 years chasing your dream and trying to get to this point right here. And like you said, you never know when that 1 foot is going to be the thing. So 20 years. And man, I'm grateful. Like I said, I think that you attracted this. I think you attracted leaders that are below you because you did stay the course. Because guess what? If you didn't make that decision to stay here, we probably wouldn't be here. Right, that door couldn't open for us.
It's all God. It's all God. Nothing else.
All God. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Lawrence. Folks, if you don't know, we're part of Lawrence and Tamara's organization. They do presentations Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Thursday they do I love the way that Tamara does the call. It's a ladies' call. Everyone can get on though. But Thursday night is the women's call that you can hop onto presentation. So make sure you plug into that along with the calls that we do as well too. So once again, thanks, Lawrence, man. I'm just going to watch this again. I think you said some great key points. One I want to talk about here, peaks and present, but there was one, walk slow instead of stand still. That's one that really resonates with me. I'll tell you folks, I really learned what it means. I used to hear leaders say, if you don't feel like quitting, you ain't doing it right. Right? That means going all in, giving it everything, got your dreams big. If you don't feel like quitting, then you're not doing it the right way. And I'll tell you, folks, I'm just tell you right now, we're in the right place. We're in the right company. We got the right team, and we got the team building in place to take this company to a multi-billion-dollar company. So, folks, the call is not done yet. We're not going to end it here. My brother, Mr. Garrett Roberts, said he was on here. Let me find. He's the coach, if you can, the blueprint. If you can make him a host or co-host, he's on here. But let me tell you about Garrett Roberts. So for those that don't know, like Lauren said, we were coming over from our last company, WV Travel. Me and my wife, first-time network marketers. Started with that company 5.5 years ago in January of 2013. I was a pilot. My wife was a nurse. We did a lot of real estate. And when we committed to doing network marketing, we said we are doing it. I looked at a comp plan. I looked at the numbers, and I said, I want to make $1 million a year. That has always been my goal when I first stepped into network marketing. I read a lot of books. One of the first books that I read about network marketing is GoPro was one, and then the first year in network marketing was another one. So I became a student. I didn't know anything about network marketing. I was a pilot. But in that organization, became a top earner there, and then we had to make a transition. So, hearing Lawrence's story about when you give your all, you let go some things, and then all of a sudden, things just happen. what do you do when a company fails? Well, you'll hear some people say, well, I done that thing before, it didn't work, and I'm not doing no more. And that's like saying that if you go to, let's say you're an executive or you have a certain, let's say you're a pilot like I was, right, or a nurse or a doctor, and you happen to get with a hospital or an airline, and you didn't like the airline, or maybe you got fired or something happened. Do you stop being a pilot? Do you stop being a doctor? Do you stop being a lawyer, whatever your profession is? No, we go find another one, right? We go find one that's our fit, and we go do it all over again because we don't quit. So understand the difference between changing your course and just staying the course towards your dream. It's staying the course no matter what the detour is. It's okay. So if you have to come and do a second deal, third deal, whatever it is, just know it's the same. Network marketing, me today, is a career choice. And I see it as the only career choice for me because of how big my dreams are. And one thing I realized, I can easily go into the corporate world, easily become a pilot, but I'll tell you, none of those things will give me my dream, right? None of those things will give me financial freedom. None of those things are going to allow me to make, 10 million a year one day, 20 million a year, not unless I own the company. So I am grateful for where we're at. So we're going to shift on to the next speaker, folks. 7-figure earner, killing the game, young in the industry. I was able to meet him when we came over. This was crazy. Let me tell you, this was crazy. So, and also I want to give a shout out, Pamela Brown. I'll tell you, let's talk about, before I introduce the next speaker, let's talk about just going through a list, folks. I'll tell you, we were at the top of our last organization, and I'm just very fortunate that this woman, she was brave, to really take the course and take that detour, knowing that it had to be another path. And because of her detour, literally it's really not us. I know we kind of came in, lit some stuff up, but really she threw us in the front. She reached out, she talked to us, she got us comfortable in this company. And then from there, Pam, we are very grateful to you. So I just want to say that, on this call, that you really changed our life as well as every other person's life who had to make that transition as well too. So thank you on that. She was brave. She reached out, she did it. So folks, don't be afraid. You never know what people are going through. Make the call, because you never know how you're going to change and impact their life. And I'll tell you, our life has been impacted big time. So the next individual I'm going to bring on, 7-figure earner, folks. He is a Chairman 100. He was the first rep in the company. Lawrence, they were the third chairmans in the company. This was the first rep in the company. Period. So I want you to really think about this, right? Something happens and someone tells you, I want to start a business, and you literally there's no platinum leaders, there's no chairman leaders, nothing. Talking about vision. And I'm going to let him talk about his struggles in the industry. He's been in the industry for a little bit as well too. He's in his early 20s. If you know, Rich Off the Net on Instagram, he just bought a Lamborghini. So man, he's living the life at a young age, killing the game, come from very humble beginnings. I was just scrolling through his Facebook page, and I'll tell you that we have some parallels. I'm born and raised Compton, California. So I was just looking at his Facebook page, and I watched the progression. I watched the change, and imagine, I'll tell you, I think it's more difficult when you have to reinvent yourself, that you have to become something else. He's a prime example. So 7-figure earner now, bought his mansion, bought his home, changing the game, has a global team. We're all on his team because he made a decision, because he had a vision, folks. So I'm going to bring my brother, 7-figure earner, Chairman 100, Mr. Garrett Robinson. I'm going to tell this one story too. So, one last thing. When I got involved, I had a conversation with Garrett, and he says, man, I know who you are. I listen to all your audios. I'm a fan. I'm a student. I'm like, bro, you making way more money than me. So I'm going to tell you about one thing I realized about iMarkets Live. All the leaders over here are so humble. Like I said, you wouldn't know that they're making all the money that they're making today, because they keep the humility. They stay humble. They're always willing to help. So Garrett Roberts is one of those folks, man. Very, very proud to be a part of his team and be in his organization. So Garrett, I know you're on the call. Are you able to unmute yourself? Let me see if I
can you hear me loud and clear?
Got you loud and clear, boss. Man, it is all yours. So just like I told Lawrence, man, I want the good, the bad, the ugly. Just kind of tell your story. And I want people to just understand the flip. Lawrence just said the same thing. He spent 20 in the industry. Flip, recently happened where now it's paid off. So I want you to just talk about the good, bad, ugly, what you've been through in the industry as a whole, and then how you came across iMarkets Live.
Absolutely. I mean, I was over here listening to Lauren's story, and I'm almost in tears just thinking about, what a journey we've been on together. Just thinking back on my whole journey in network marketing, guys, it wasn't easy. I tell people all the time, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. And I think this is like a Les Brown quote. I just got off a call with Jazz, and he was playing the audio from Les Brown, and he said the easiest thing he's ever done was make $1 million, right? And then he followed up after that and said, but the hardest thing he ever did was believing that he could make $1 million. And I feel like, a lot of people, they look for the sauce, they look for the secret, they look for, bro, how are you doing it? And I used to be one of those guys, believe it or not. I used to go up to all the leaders, messaging them. Most of your chairmen in this company, I used to harass them in their inbox, begging them to tell me why it's not working for me, right? Just begging them like, bro, please tell me. Julian, please tell me. What am I not doing? Help me, and I remember so many leaders just like looking at what they're doing, and then looking at my lifestyle, looking at my grind, and then looking at my results. It's like, yo, I'm doing everything you're doing, but I'm not getting the results. And I had to realize that the hardest part is believing that eventually all those good things you do, all that right work that you do, all that grinding, all that consistency, I believe that money has laws. I believe success has rules. I feel like there's really an unwritten rule book to money and success. And I feel like the biggest rule is believing that you deserve it. Before anybody asked me to get on stage, I was already practicing my speech in my head broke. Even still to this day, I interview myself. It might be weird. I don't know. I might be the only one who does it. But still to this day, I interview myself as if I'm bigger, on a bigger level. I don't even see myself as a big level right now. Like, I be stressed out every day. How can I get better? How can I do what Randy's doing? How can I do what Lawrence is doing? How can I do what China's doing? How can I do what Lawrence is doing? How can I do what Jason's doing, Dave is doing, Alex is doing, plus what I already do? And guys, I really just want to pour into you guys. And I know it's December. Christmas is coming up. A lot of people are, worried about Christmas. But I feel like this is the biggest time of the year for business. This is the year when I made that decision in my life. You know what? I'm going to be a professional. I'm not just going to get on the call and listen to Randy. I'm going to get on the call, listen to Randy with my notebook right here. Oh, Randy said what? Write something. I will literally write down Randy said write something, right? I was so hungry that I said, you know what? I'm tired of listening to my leader. I'm sick and tired of listening to this dude. I'm him now. I'm him. And only way I can be him is get on his call, listen to what he has to say, and jack him, copy him, duplicate exactly what he's saying. And so I feel like, coming up, I struggle. For you guys that don't know my story, I struggled my first 6 months in the industry. You guys, for you guys that do know my story, I come from,
Tell it.
I come from a rough background. I'm not proud of my past life, but it's the life that I chose. I grew up quick. As a kid, money has always been something I knew I needed. I've been an entrepreneur since 14, right? So long story short, when I got into this industry, I had something kind of different, a different route I had to go, a different path. I had money before. I had foreigns in high school before. I had designer clothes before that got stolen. So I had to transition my whole mindset that even though you think you're bossed up, your ego's bigger than your bank account. And you were gifted with a book that showed you that what real wealth is. You were gifted with a book called Think and Grow Rich that opened my mindset to what real wealth was. Back in 2012, I got into entrepreneurship, guys. So if you don't know my story, that's kind of a summed up story. I was going down the wrong path, had a daughter, and was face to face with that brick wall, banging my head every day. And I said, you know what? I have to open up my mind so I know to walk around the brick wall. Stop trying to bust my head through it and just open my mind, and you'll realize that you can walk around the brick wall. So I got into this industry, struggled my first 6 months. Like I said, until that moment, I realized, let me start duplicating what the leaders are doing. If he's doing calls every day, I'm doing them too. If he's doing YouTube every day, I'm doing it too. If he's running ads and I see his ad coming down my channel every day, I'm doing it too. So today I made a post talking about how, in the beginning stages, I used to spend like all my commissions. I would spend all my commissions back into my business. And I remember just sitting there crying like all the time. Like literally, I'm in this, this house, daughter. I'm always on the computer. I'm always in the computer room, and I'm struggling, but I'm doing the work. Like I'm always active. I'm always prospecting. People wonder how I have like the best leaders in the industry by far, and it's because I know them. I spent money with them before. I learned from them. I got on their webinars. I joined their WAC companies just to get their training. Like I would literally spend my last dollar on a WAC company. I know it's whack, it's trash. I got my own company over here, like my number one company, but I will go spend your $500 just to see what you got in your training videos. That was my mindset. Like, yo, I gotta jack as much knowledge as possible so I can compress time. I'm a big believer on compressing time. I don't got time to wait. I don't have time to wonder how long this is going to work. Guys, I want you guys to really start looking at the people that are winning in this business and implement what they're doing into your business, right? Because it really works. A lot of people are coming into IML and they're freestyling. You can't even get hired at McDonald's and freestyle to Whopper, right? But a lot of you guys are coming into IML and you're freestyling, or you told Lawrence, you were a prospect, and you told Lawrence, hey, I'm in a financial situation, I'm broke, but I refuse to recruit. Guys, I know network marketing has a bad look on, people have a bad look on network marketing, but we're not just a network marketing company. I don't look at myself as a network marketer when I'm in the field at all. I don't look at myself as I'm an educator. I'm educating you on something that your elementary, middle school, high school, and college professor didn't educate you on. You can't call me a marketer. You have to put some respect on my name. I'm an educator that's giving you a deal, because if I was Christopher Terry, I'd be charging $10,000 for all of this. So I'm giving you a deal. I'm an educator, and I'm putting you on to something you prayed, wished, and hoped for last night laying on your back. So guys, once you get that mindset and you're in the field and you know you're winning, I just said this on the last call, I say it all the time. What determines that you're winning? In the chat right now, put what would determine that you're winning in iMarkets Live right now, real quick. What determines you're winning? 10K a month, 5K a month, 2K a month, thousands of people in your organization, catching thousands of pips every day. What is it? Help on people, freedom, consistency, team winning, bringing people in. All that is great, but you missed the fact that you were gifted this opportunity. You were gifted this opportunity for $200. You're on a call right now with a two-time felon that made multiple seven figures from this plan right now. And I'm telling y'all guys how I did it. Lawrence just gave you the whole breakdown of how we went from not even knowing each other to making history together, to struggling, losing it, having so many great leaders that we lost, but we stuck it out to say, you know what, we got to keep this thing going. You know how many chairmen we lost because they didn't have vision? And I can't even tell you what they're doing right now. I don't know. I can't even, not nothing I would change what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't trade what I'm doing right now for whatever they stop to go do, for sure, right? So you're on a call right now with one of the best builders that I know. Like, guys, I can't make this up. Randy told you guys I'm a student in the game. Like, I wasn't lying to him. Here's my SoundCloud right here. SoundCloud, let's go through it. Randy is like the second thing pop up. Second thing pop up, Randy Webb. Randy Webb. So when I met Randy, it's like, wow, you really can speak this stuff into existence. You really can work this stuff into existence. Because when he texted me, I almost dropped my phone. I was like, oh. All that stuff they're preaching on the stage, all that stuff they preach in the books really works. See, I'm not a guy, I don't just hear it and believe it. You got to prove to me. Like I told Christopher Terry when I met him, I don't care if you're worth 8 figures, 9 figures, $1 billion, 10 billion, I don't care. Prove to me your products work. I'm a prove to me type of guy, right? So when Randy came here, I remember like it was yesterday, guys. I think I got a follow request from Wanda. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it. It took me 30 minutes to respond to the request. I'm like, she must be using a bot. Like, this must be a mistake. This must be a mistake or something. Because little old me, yeah, I know I got results, but I didn't have any MLM clout, right? I got results. I got the stats for sure. But I didn't have MLM clout. I didn't care about pictures. I didn't care about videos. I didn't care about walking on stage. I didn't care about having a speech. I never prepared for a speech, ever. I don't care. I'm going to freestyle the whole thing. I don't care. I don't care because that's what got me here. I don't care about suits. I'm going to dress like this every event because that's what got me here. And it wasn't until I seen someone that looked like this that made me believe in this industry. That's the reason why I don't switch it up. A lot of people wonder why. I like to be myself because I know it took someone being their self from the same company y'all all came from. It took someone from that company being their self for me to say, you know what, I could do that right here. Be myself, do it how I want to, long as I outwork everybody. Long as my green light on Facebook is always on because I'm prospecting. Long as I'm going through all these groups, even the international ones. I've never been international, never built offline, but I'm about to go on Facebook right now and search all international groups, find me a leader, and go meet them offline. Guys, anything you want to accomplish, you can do. It's no more excuses. We got the best leaders in the game. We got online marketers, offline marketers, influencers, every type of person you can learn from. All you got to do is be serious with this business and come down to realization you're already winning. A lot of y'all not moving because you think you're not winning. You saying, oh, when I catch 10 pips, then I'm going to go tell my mama. Oh, when I'm winning, then I'm going to go tell my cousin I'll tell. Guys, you winning when you swipe your card. Because if it was me and I was Christopher Terry, you would have had to call the bank to swipe your card because the transaction would have been so big. You're already winning. You paid $200 for something me and Lauren paid $500 from. You're winning. You're already winning right there. You paid $200 for something that goes for $10,000 easily in the marketplace. For every educator we have on this platform is $1,000 each for each educator. To get an educator like Stevenson, you for sure paying $10,000 just to even be in the room with him. Guys, you got to understand that you are winning. Stop letting income determine if you're winning or not. I knew I was winning before I ever got the check. To the point I spent all the checks so I could get more checks. I'm still investing my commissions into the business because I'm not even happy at Chairman 100. Guys, you got to understand, like I don't think I cracked a smile all year about Chairman 100. Only thing I've been thinking about is how can I outdo Alex? How can I outdo Lawrence? Let me go in the lab again because I did everything I knew how to do. I got to watch these dudes real quick, see what they doing. Oh, y'all doing that. Let me rebrand myself, rich off the net. Now I got a whole new brand, whole new style. I'm going to put this in front of everybody. Guys, the success tips is right there. Right there. But you got to start with the basics. You can't get to the level Alex is on, and you ain't did 100 three-way calls yet. You barely inviting people to the webinar, but you trying to be lit on the ground. You trying to be packing out events, but you can't even get 4 people on the call. Like, do the basics first. Once you get through the basics, this stuff becomes second nature. I could lose it all today. I probably cry for like 2 seconds. Like, no cap. I probably cry for like 2 seconds, and then I say, okay, let's go to the white. Oh, let me show you. That right there, I wrote that a year ago when I was broke. Seriously, I was broke. It wasn't this house. I kept it right there because it's like a sign to me right now, right? But a year ago, probably 2 years ago, I was broke, calling Christopher Terry every day, like, yo, I need your help. I deserve some help. I'm out here struggling. I just lost my organization. Like Lawrence told you guys the story. It was a real thing. No, it might be 2 years ago now. How quickly you can get through stuff, right, with work, right? But 2 years ago, I'm struggling. I'm like, yo, I went from 80K to 600 a month. I done been in this industry 7 years. All the people who came up under me, they're top earners now and other things. They don't even got to listen to me no more. They don't got to join me in nothing. I got to go find all new people. And I remember Christopher Terry gave me some of the best advice. He was like, yo, I could help you, but I won't. And he said, the reason why I won't help you because you're a lion, you're a tiger. And he was like, if I help you, it's going to take you dry. And at that time, I went through the phone, right? No care. Like, yo, what are you talking about? I'm not losing no drive. But it was like the realest thing, guys. A lot of times we sit around all day and we put so much mental work on thinking about what we should do. Thinking about, oh, if I go do this, I'm going to get these results. Thinking about, oh, I should get off my butt, stop playing the game all day and actually go work. Oh, I should do 10 calls like Randy said. Oh, I should invite somebody. You put so much work on your mind that then you go on Facebook or you talk to your leader and you actually think you did that work. To think takes as much work as it does to do, believe it or not. So a lot of us gets to the point where we're thinking about doing it. We're thinking we know we should do it. And we're thinking all these things that you don't even realize you don't do anything. And then you go to sleep. Have you ever met anybody that don't do anything and then they go to sleep and then they be tired, like so tired, right? It's because mentally they're thinking about all the things they should do. It made them tired as if they did, right? So we have to stop thinking going into 2009. Guys, you already know everything you need to do to be the next big chairman in the company. It's not a secret. The real thing is, are you in the mood to do what you need to know, to do what you know you need to do? Anytime I'm not getting the results I know I should be getting is because I'm not in the mood to go do it. I'm not in the mood to go do the work. Anytime my business is struggling, I just sit here sometimes and be like, all right, I give it 5 more minutes till I get busy. Because I know that the results are not coming just because I'm not doing what the list says to do. Like I challenge you all tonight to write a list, 20 to 50 things. Forget a list of prospects. Write a list of 20, 50 things you should do to get to the results. Because I tell people all the time, if you do at least 10 of them, you'll make 6 figures next year. Every day though, you gotta do it every day. If you've never grinded in your career every day, you've never built. You never built. You never built. I'm sorry. If you've never did 18-hour days and 10-hour days every day, you're not tired yet. You're not tired. And I understand people got jobs and business, and I understand. But guys, I believe in compressing time. So if you got a job or you have a business and you're putting 8 hours into that, the average person would get off that 8-hour shift and then come do 2 hours, 3 hours in their business, realistically, right? But if you're about compressing time and getting results quick, go do 8 hours and then 8 hours. Go to work tired as hell because you was building your business all night. Period. Like, period, guys. It's going to take anywhere from a year to 3 years to get the results you want, right? The difference between the 1 to 3 is how fast you work. That's it. That's it. So, Randy, I can go on all night, man. I'm pumped up.
I swear we just had a straight national event on the call tonight. Man, I'm just going to recap, man. You and Lawrence just crushed this thing. And I'm going to reiterate one thing that both of you said, and I'm going to tell you, It happened to me. The rules, believe that you deserve it. I remember when we talked, I do remember that night that we talked. Wanda said, man, I just followed Garrett Roberts. I think we're in his downline. And, and then we connected with you, and then you told me that story, and I'm like, I'll tell you, that was a confirmation for us because we were going through so much stuff when we were transitioning over, and for that to happen, and God was aligning so many things, right? He was confirming so many things for us, and you were a part of that process, so I appreciate it. But, man, you said some powerful things there. Obviously, we know compressing time. Folks, I hope y'all heard. Here's why I say it doesn't matter. When I say open up your list and just show everybody, it doesn't matter who it is. He said, I made multiple 7 figures, 2-time felony, and I got folks who haven't been through anything, and they're making excuses about lifting off the ground, and you had every excuse to not go out and do this, but you said, I seen somebody look like me, and I went all in. And that's all that this thing takes. Lawrence said the same thing. There's a lot of things throughout his story where he made a decision. If you hear any top earner, at some point in their journey, they just made a decision, and I'm going all in, I'm not going to look back. And that's throughout this whole story. That's what I'm hearing here. And I hope you guys understand law of attraction is a real thing. From you constantly just thinking about what you want, from, Lawrence talking about Chairman 50 on the card. That's all he thought about there. To Garrett talking about, I listen to every trainer out there. I listen to every person, what they did in the industry, and long and behold, leaders start coming into my organization, folks. So, man, I challenge you all to just re-listen to this call. We're going to put it back out. I'm going to re-listen to it myself. One thing I'll tell you about this, I don't care who you are. Always a student. That's Lawrence. That's Garrett. 2 pages, folks, notes all day long. I've been in the industry now going on 6 years, and I'm always going to be a student of what's going on. And I'll tell you, there is no better time in iMarkets Live right now. This company is the company. I will tell you, I've been through it. Yes, transitioning, but it's worth going all in to make $50,000 a month, $25,000 a month, $100,000 a month, and at some point, $500,000. I'll tell you, we know we got the other ranks coming. Chairman 1,000, folks. I'll tell you, this company just wants to win overall, period. We are going to dominate the industry. So with me talking about dominating the industry, so both of them talked about crying. And I want to tell you guys, like, when me and my wife were going through our transition, Lawrence talked about him crying on the side of the bed. I ain't going to lie, I kind of want to drop some tears. You almost made me tear up a little bit because I remember a moment that I had. And you heard Garrett talk about the same thing. We cry. But I want you guys, when they said that, I'll tell you the vision that came in my head. Michael Jordan. I remember when Michael Jordan cried. Some people look at it like, it's just a game. No, it's not just a game, right? My dream is not just a dream, right? What I want to get in life is not just, a thing. And so I'll tell you, folks, when we went through our transition, I had a moment as a grown man. I remember stopping in my car because I went all in. And I stopped in my car at a gas station. I cried for I swear, a good 30 minutes. And I prayed to God and said, what did I do wrong? Right? Like you said, I heard when Gary said I listened to his audios and stuff like that. I was doing everything. And here, it's not that I did anything wrong. It's not that you did anything wrong. It's just that wasn't the tour for you. You heard Lawrence say, turbulence. I'll tell you from a pilot's perspective, when guess what? When turbulence happens in the airplane, do you ever see a pilot say, hey, we're gonna go down and we're gonna lower? No, they go through it fast. They get through the turbulence as fast as they can. And then that's it. Or if they know that turbulence is coming ahead and they have the foresight and they know it's going to be big, they detour the plane a little bit. So sometimes you might have to detour, and sometimes you just got to ride that joker out. But the goal is you got to ride it out or you're going to fall out the sky, right? So we ride this thing out. And I'll tell you in iMarkets Live, folks, here's what it takes to ride it out. We got a great company. We got leadership in place. We got folks that have already ranked up. I'm reading GoPro again, and I'll tell you one of the things I just took from it. They just said there's 3 elements to what we do. 3, right? And I want you to remember this because these are going to be what you assess. I believe in assessing on a daily basis. There's the product or the service. There's the compensation plan, and then there's you. And sometimes it's a very hard part to really critique ourselves, right, for what we may be doing wrong or what we're not doing to get our business to grow. And so if we can look at iMarkets Live, for example, look at the product, folks. People are winning, right? 85% customers in iMarkets Live. People are trading like no other, killing the game, making money. I got several folks on my team that are just crushing it. I see David Hoyt on here, Mr. GJ, killing it. Jasmine Shaver. I got folks in the organization trading, killing it. And we haven't even been in a year yet, right? So the product, not an issue. Compensation plan, won't even mention the compensation plan. We got the best compensation plan in the industry, right? Let me just be quite transparent, right? 33,000 customers in my last organization, folks. I didn't come close to making $50,000 a month like I wanted to. And then I came over to iMarkets Live and in the first month made 25,000. Right now, here we are. We're 8 months, not 10 months in, but in 8 months, we created 6 figures in 8 months. My first deal, my first year, I think we made 33,000. So coming over here, I haven't even got a year in yet, and to make the money we're making, folks, I'm just telling you, this is an absolute game changer. And I hope that you take from this call that I don't care who you are, where you come from, what your career is, how much you think you're making right now, that if you just decide to make a decision today that I'm going to do everything it takes, I'm going to write down my list. I'm going to do exactly what Garrett said and do the 20 to 50 things and write them down and try to at least do 10 a day. You just commit to doing some daily disciplines and allow the flip to happen. It's game over. And when I say allow the flip to happen, to be quite transparent to you folks, when I say that if you don't want to quit, you're not doing it right, folks. Sometimes, your dreams can be so high that you're going so hard that you're like, and it's not happening, you get frustrated. It's okay. When that time comes, you step back, reset. Sometimes I got to step back, reset, and then go. One thing that you'll always see from me is I always want to show you my high energy levels. Now you'll never see me on Facebook say anything bad. And if I do, I'll pull it off real fast. But I always want to portray that high energy, folks. And I'm telling you, me and my wife, we're so excited, from Kenya, teams in Kenya to Germany to Japan. You guys are growing all over the globe right now, the nation. And what I can tell you is this: I can already see, chairman after chairman after chairman walking across that stage. And if you got anything from this call, the gentlemen that were just on, they both had massive vision. They both stayed the test of time. They both stayed when everybody was leaving. They stayed, which tells me, like Warren Buffett says, when the masses are doing one thing, you do the opposite. They did the opposite, right? They didn't follow the masses. See, most time the masses are sheep. And when sheep don't know where they're going, all right, you can lead yourself right off a hill. Sometimes you got to reassess and take a leadership role, or what I like to say, take ownership. And in this company, if you take ownership, I believe that everyone on here, you're all owners of IML, right? You own stock in IML. And the more work you put in, the more stock you own in IML. And right now, I'll tell you, they're giving out a lot of shares. You get to Chevron 500, you're going to get a lot of shares, folks. And it ain't hard. It's difficult mentally, but it's not hard. The hardest thing about network marketing, you guys will hear me say this over and over again, the hardest thing about network marketing is opening up this phone and getting rid of your ego. The hardest part, when you have to reset, right? Reset. It's your second deal. You're like, I burned my network. You didn't burn your network. You're just scared to call them again, right? We're scared of our ego that they're going to say, oh, you do another one of those deals. You never know when that call, you make that right call and that person say, man, I'm glad you called me. They were scared to call you. You scared to call them. They're scared to call you. They're ready to sign up. They watch you do the deal already. They know that you're committed. They're just waiting for you to make the call because they're scared to call you. And so I had to assess and say, you know what? I got to pick up this phone. I got to make the call. And what I understand is you got to ensure that your dreams are much bigger than the pain that it's going to take to get there. And so, folks, that is our call tonight. Sorry we went a little bit longer than usual, but I tell you, absolutely worth it. If you got value from Chairman 50, seven-figure earner, Lawrence Young, and Chairman 100, Garrett Roberts, drop 777 in the chat. Give them some love. Let them know, you're very grateful for what they've done tonight. I've never seen so many leaders so transparent. Man, the transparency is crazy here. I love it, love it, love it. Because, it's good to know what you're about to face. You guys just got everything. You know what you're about to face. You know the journey, but you also know the reward. So that's our call, folks. In everything that we do, let's leave a legacy. Let's go. That's our call for tonight. Peace. Let's go. Come on.
What you know about that, Randy?
Love it.
What you know about that, Randy?
Hey, I'm loving the instrumentals too. There it is. Man, I see all these powerful leaders on here. Oh my goodness. I see all these chairmen just looking Just look, all these chairmen on here, all these 7-figure earners. Man, look at them. Look at all these folks who are going to be making $10 million, $20 million a year one day. I see them all.
Let's say IML's going to give it to you.
Come on.
IML's going to give it to you. I love it.
This call is recorded, folks. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stop the recording now, and then I will get this put on.